This is Adam Zdroik. I'm going solo for kits and wagers this week. We had a slight mix up with Chris. He ran into a problem with his Airbnb and he's kind of in the middle of nowhere for a wedding this weekend. So he's at a lack of service. So I'm just going to do a really quick show. Going to give our picks, going to get out of here. So, game week 13 in the Premier League. There's one match between game weeks. We had a busy midweek slate, and we're just going to get right into it. RotoWire.com. Check out our betting page. I already got my article up for game week 13. A little preview. We got Jose Sa in there of Wolverhampton right on the cover. And then here is our betting page. And the first match we're looking at is arguably the biggest match of the weekend. We have Chelsea home against Manchester United. And we're kind of in the same mindset with this one, me and Chris here. So Chris is taking under 2.5 goals at minus 105. I'm taking under 4.5 corners in the first half, minus 105. So, spoiler alert, there's a lot of corner bets in the show. If you don't bet corners, you're not going to like the show. But I think for kits and wagers for this show, we've hit our last 6 corner bets between us. And I think I just hit one recently for the Brighton match in my article. So there's 7 in a row between article and show. So yeah, just for this one, think it's going to be kind of tight match. Chelsea at home. This isn't going to be Manchester United against Tottenham. Manchester United are not going to be what they just showed. Also, another note: I'm 6-0 on Manchester United bets on this show, so let's make it 7-0, which is pretty wild given all of the uncertainty surrounding Manchester United. But under 4.5, I'm taking that one because if we get a goal in the first half, if it's 1-0 in the first half, I don't want to be stuck in a situation when I think it's under 9.5 corners in this match and one team is pushing. Let's say Manchester United get a goal in the first half, and then you have for 45 plus minutes, you got Chelsea basically pushing, so that's going to rack up the corners. That's what you don't want. So in the first half, you kind of take that out of the equation, which is why I like this bet a little more than the full time bet. Uh, both these teams can be pretty tight. Chelsea don't allow a ton of corners. Manchester United don't allow a ton of corners, and these teams don't really get that many corners in general, just with the way they play. As for Chris, I like his bet. It kind of mixes with mine a little bit here. So I mean, you could look at this for a same game parlay. They both kind of play together here. But yeah, Chelsea at home, I think they've allowed 1 goal under Potter, and that was home against Leipzig, I want to say, in Champions League. So pretty solid defensively. And Manchester United, we know what we just saw midweek. I don't think it's going to happen in back-to-back matches. So there we go. Next match, we have Aston Villa home against Brentford. This is a funny one. We threw this on the slate just for fun. We're not going to know pretty much anything. So Steven Gerrard is out, which kind of makes this one interesting. You got the new manager bump, but how much is going to change? So Aston Villa played Thursday. They looked terrible at Fulham, and now this match is Sunday. So fired Thursday, so they're going to have training Friday, some training Saturday, and then a match on Sunday. So even then, they have, I forget the name, but the caretaker manager. How much is he going to change? Probably not a lot, but maybe something changes. I mean, Chris is going with Aston Villa to win plus 115. It's not terrible. I like the idea. Um, if you read my article, I'm big on, going against public perception because a lot of people, they know what they just saw. They know what they just saw midweek. Brentford held Chelsea scoreless. Stuff like Fulham dominating Aston Villa. Is that thing gonna happen? Is that gonna happen in back-to-back matches? Probably not. So I like going against public perception, and I'd say the odds on Aston Villa to win this match may rise a little bit as we get closer to action because I guess there could be some new manager bump bets, but we'll see. I do think that this has the potential to be, if Gerard was leading this one, it would be 1-0. It'd be scoreless. So there's a potential for that to happen. But then you throw Brentford into this. Brentford pretty attacking away from home. A lot of their matches are higher scoring away from home. And then Aston Villa, different manager, kind of changed things up in the attack. I know they've had trouble scoring, but it was 2 matches ago, home against Chelsea. They should have scored. They had 8 shots on target in the first half. They should have scored. And I'm kind of leaning towards Aston Villa. And I think when you look at what they did Thursday, really suffered in the attack, really couldn't get. I mean, they had some opportunities, but they were plastered by. That's not the right word, but they were dominated by Fulham, and I think they're just going to keep pushing here. They're gonna if they don't get that goal, they're just going to keep pushing for that goal, and that's going to go to the race to 7 corners plus 135. If I remember correctly, I believe Aston Villa's over under is 6.5 corners, and that was only plus 115. So you're getting tons of value here, under the assumption that Brentford aren't going to get 7 corners first. But in general, under Gerrard, Aston Villa, outside of that Fulham match, they haven't allowed a ton of corners this season, so maybe that comes into play as well. So race 7 corners, Aston Villa plus 135. Chris is going Aston Villa to win plus 115. Monday night match, under the lights. We had 9 matches under the lights midweek, and I think there are 2 goals scored from away teams. I'm not saying that's going to keep happening, but I think it has to be taken into account when these teams play under the lights. There is a little bit more motivation. There's a little bit more juice. The fans are a little bit more crazy at night, and that definitely plays a part. I might look back to see the stats for the home teams in under the light matches because I even went back to the midweek matches from, I don't know, 2 months ago, and it was still heavily favored for the home teams. So we'll see if that stat means anything. Maybe it doesn't, but I'm leaning towards West Ham to win and over 1.5 goals minus 115. So this is just pretty simple. Instead of betting on West Ham to win at minus 185, we're just saying over 1.5 goals. Pretty easy, closer to even odds. West Ham they've kind of been off and on, but I mean, if you look at their schedule, they've had some parts in their schedule here that have been difficult. So uh, at Liverpool, I do see this Southampton one where it's 1-1, but I mean their last home matches, they beat Anderlecht in Europa Conference League, beat Fulham, beat Wolves. They really haven't had a ton of home matches if you're just going through the schedule. 1-1 against Tottenham, lost the opener against Brighton, but West Ham overall just a better team. I know Bournemouth have had a decent run of results and all that, but I'm not sure they have enough here to stay competitive. Maybe they'll be competitive here, but uh, I mean, you look at the last match, home against Southampton, 1-0. They just couldn't get that goal. They were I think they're the only home team to lose at home midweek, but they gave up a goal early. They just couldn't find one again. They've had a pretty favorable run of schedule, though. If you just look at what they've played: Southampton, Fulham, Leicester, Brentford, Newcastle. So pretty favorable run, and they haven't been subbing that much. A lot of these guys, Tavernier, Christie, their midfield, Cook, Lerma, they haven't really been rotating at all. We saw West Ham play Flynn Downs. I think he's still a teenager, but just a young guy. Didn't have much time. He played at Liverpool, so they have some injuries, but they do have guys where you can rotate. Like you can rotate Skamaka and Antonio up front. We might see Ben Rama start for West Ham. A little deeper squad, partly because obviously they're playing in Europa Conference League, so that's why. But I'm taking West Ham to win over 1.5 goals. Chris is going kind of different route. He's still sticking with Bournemouth double chance. I think he's hit that bet a couple times in recent matches. I want to say if we look at that, he probably took it at Fulham. He got the Fulham double chance, and I believe it was home against Brentford. He took the double chance. Or actually, no, it was home against Leicester. That was back-to-back weeks. He had the Bournemouth double chance. So he's going back to it with plus 150. I don't agree with it. Depends what you want to go with. So West Ham, home, under the lights, as I just said. So those are my thoughts. Chris, I don't have his input here. Also of note, as you see, His picture is on here. He has not gotten an updated picture to me. I found this on Facebook like 10 years ago, or from Facebook from 10 years ago. So it's his fault for not getting me an updated picture. That's why that's in there. But Team Parlay, more corners, more corners. We're 3-8 on the season. I took Chelsea to win at Brentford midweek. I quickly realized that was a mistake about 10 minutes in that match, and just got to live with it. But Chris has done pretty well for the parlays. That's 6-4 for Chris. I'm 4-7. We're down 105. Not the worst thing through 11 bets. I believe if you're going off all of mine, I'm 22-11, uh, not including parlays. That's a little over 1,200, I think, on $100 bets. But for this one, I'm taking Everton Crystal Palace. First half corners under 4.5. That's minus 115. Again, the same idea as I took with the Chelsea Manchester United match. Just to take away the factor of one team pressing in the second half and leading to a bunch of corners. So I think this is going to be a tight match. It's going to be defensive. It's going to be kind of ugly. Everton have played a lot of ugly matches this season, and I think they've allowed the most corners in the league this season. But at home against a Crystal Palace team that has, it's been a little off and on. They got the win against Wolverhampton midweek. They allowed one early to Adama Traore, and then got two back, which was pretty good on them to do that. But their form away just even at home, they've had some iffy results. Their last away match, they were pretty much outplayed for 90 minutes at Leicester City. If you look at that match, they had 8 shots, a .39 expected goal total, two corners in that match. Leicester took 9 corners. They really took it to them. Something I don't know if Everton can actually do that, but we now have kind of the Steven Gerrard situation with Frank Lampard. How much is that going to change his strategy? Is he going to want to attack a little more than he has been, or than Everton have been, because that could lead to some more corners? But I'm sticking safe with the first half corners under 4.5. I think it's just going to be tight. It's going to be a match where the ball is going to be in the central third kind of a lot, and I'm not sure how many opportunities either one of these sides are going to get. Chris is going a simple route. He's having trouble. It took him a while to get these bets in because his internet was going in and out, in and out. He couldn't even pull up the sports book where he's at because the internet was just not working for him. But bread and butter pick for him. Mo Salah to score minus 150. The Liverpool are at Nottingham Forest. Pretty simple bet. Just taking Salah against one of the worst teams in the league. So pretty easy. You got plus 211 odds on that. But there you go. Those are our bets. Really quick show for you. If you want Chris's input on these picks, if you have questions for these picks, find him at CHROwen8 on Twitter. But well, he's at a wedding. He's going to be at a wedding this weekend, so I guess we can annoy him. I'm not sure if he'll get back to you, but I'll just scroll through our picks again. So we talked to Chelsea, Manchester United, Aston Villa, Brentford, West Ham, Bournemouth, and there's the team parlay. And let's look at before we go, let's just look at the cheat sheet here. We got 10 matches. So we got a few matches Saturday, we got a few matches Sunday, and then the Monday night match between West Ham and Bournemouth. So again, rotowire.com/soccer trial. You can get these cheat sheets. Oh, the sports betting content, that's free. That's free for you. But these cheat sheets are the gem of what we do, I guess. It's probably the most helpful thing, one of the most helpful things we have on the site. So rotowire.com/soccer trial. We got Manchester City home against Brighton, Liverpool away to Nottingham Forest. I got a parlay with that game in my article, so check that out. You can pretty much just click on sports betting for soccer and then find that article there. So pretty easy. But West Ham are the third biggest favorite. Arsenal at Southampton. So you got a good set of favorites here. Is there anything else I like? I'm not sure. I guess just read my article. I do have a Wolverhampton Leicester bet. I do have a Leeds Fulham bet. So there you go. I would take something like Arsenal win at Southampton over 2.5, maybe something like that. Uh, I will say Southampton do not have Kyle Walker-Peters. We don't know who's going to start at right back in his place, and whoever starts there is going to have the task of dealing with Martinelli. If you want to bet really quickly, I'm 15 minutes here. I'm going to look at Martinelli's odds to score because I think he's just going to be pretty much running wild on the left side there for Arsenal. Um, Came off the bench midweek, and let's just look here. Martinelli is plus 160 to score, plus 450 to be the first goal scorer. It's just a great matchup right there for Martinelli going against we don't know. I'm projecting Lianco. Lianco has played fullback at times for previous teams, but I don't know if he's actually played fullback for. I guess sorry, I'm projecting a 3-4-1-2, 3-4-3 kind of thing for Southampton. So something to keep an eye on. If they keep their formation of four in the back, we could see Lianco at right back. We could see an 18-year-old at right back. So I think no matter the case, there might be an issue right there with dealing, even on the other side, dealing with Saka with Romain Perraud on that side. But something to keep an eye on. Look at that for ahead of that one. But that's all we got. Those are our bets. Thanks for watching. This has been a quick show. Chris will be back next week. Hopefully he's not in the woods at some Airbnb, but you can find him at CHROwen8 on Twitter. I am at RotoZdroik. Check out all the betting content at RotoWire, my article. Thanks for watching this. Make sure to like and subscribe. We're almost at 600 soccer subscribers, so thank you to everyone for keep watching these videos. They're gonna keep coming out. Needless to say, we got a busy schedule planned for the World Cup, which is in a few weeks. But good luck, everyone, and we'll see you next week.